Be advised, you are coming in weak and unreadable.
Say again, Com Tower. This is Pacho. Do you read me over?
Pacho, this is Com Tower. I read you Lima Charlie.
Com Tower, Com Tower. Request permission to launch and commence the field op. Over.
Stand by. Pacho, permission granted. I say again, permission granted.
Roger that. Launching podcast in 3, 2. You are now entering the field op with your host, Pacho Correa, Chief Warrant Officer 3, United States Marine Corps retired. Get some. Hurrah! What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Pacho. Baby Friday. Friday is upon us. Friday night's Eve, but goddamn, it's almost the weekend. It's been a little bit since the last time we talked. I know some of the shows in the past were a little bit pre-recorded. Nonetheless, folks, hey, we're here. We're gonna make this stuff happen. So, but before we get started, let's just talk a little bit about what we're, the folks that helped us put the show together. And the VA is an amazing organization. It's not perfect, but I mean, it's the only resource that we have. So I highly recommend that you put in your claim. And if you need assistance to get some of that stuff going, you can feel free to reach out to us right here at the show. I'll be more than glad to put you in connection with those folks out there who are VSOs and can help you put the package together. But the system is really simple. It's really user friendly. So if this jarhead right here can use it, so can you. So, but I'll be more than glad to again show you how it is, how you can get a claim going, because at least you get the clock ticking, and it'll backdate it to whenever it is approved. So you have up to a year to file. So you can do an intent to file, and at least you'll get that stuff going. So nonetheless, you can reach out to us, and then you could send me a DM and make that stuff happen. Also, hey, look, we're all about this show, and we got elections coming up here pretty soon in the next couple of weeks. So, with that being said, we support the American Constitution, the freedom of speech, right to bear arms, all those great things that we as Americans, the freedoms that we get by being, because of this amazing document. And as one person who supported and still supports the Constitution as a veteran and served for 21 years honorably, hey, look, if you like this show, like, subscribe, and follow. Let everybody else know that about this show, and let's build a community, and basically let's get this stuff going. Okay, and if you want to be a guest, by all means, hit me up. I am looking for guests. I'm always open to, be your platform, your voice. And, just come on the show, and whether you support veterans, whether you have a business, you want to talk about, whatever it is that your platform is, even if we may disagree, if you have your political views, whatever, hey, let's talk about it. Because at the end of the day, no other country, this America. I just heard I was watching someone on Facebook, as a matter of fact, and this guy made sense. America is the only country that people hate it so much, and they still stick around with. So I mean, that tells you a lot about this great place of ours. So nonetheless, hey, like, subscribe, and follow. Stick around, and then let's go ahead and build a community. So, but what I want to talk to you about today is. I thought initially, I just want to say disclaimer, I mean, the show, life is a highway, and it is. I thought that Chris LeDoux, I'm a huge fan of Chris LeDoux. I do enjoy my country music as well. Chris LeDoux was an amazing singer, and I thought that he sang this song way back in the 90s, Life is a Highway, but contrary to popular belief, or to my own belief, Tom Cochrane was the one who wrote the song in 1991. So, but anyways, shout out to Tom Cochrane, Chris LeDoux, and Rascal Flatts, who also covered the song later on I think it was their debut album, I believe, in 2001. Anyways, so long story short, we went on a road trip. We decided to go visit family, along with, it was kind of like a working road trip. So yeah, you are right, Angel. It is an amazing song, and which I've used in some of my posts as well. But we decided to take the show as well as kind of like a working road trip. There were some things we wanted to go take care of in Texas, so we went over there, and we a lot of us preach or even ask, post COVID, excuse me, a lot of us look for that perfect work life balance, if there is such a thing. I don't know. I think I've been pretty good and I've been pretty good about it, and and found something that that I deeply fell in love with, and allowed me to not only spend time at home here with the wife and the pooch who's sitting right here on the floor right next to me. But we said, hey, you know what? We got to do some things. Let's try to see if how well we can do this work life thing. So so yeah, so we went on a road trip, and it just got me thinking about how life is kind of like a highway, like a highway, no pun intended, but with all this with all its twists, turns. Sometimes just like I said on the show description, sometimes the road can be bumpy, sometimes it can be smooth, and you're like, man, this is a perfect trip. Or I'm an avid motorcycle rider, where you find that one perfect road where it just got some amazing twisties, where you can kind of like when there's no cars around, obviously, you kind of get down low and look through the turn and just kind of find the apex on that turn, and it's just that amazing feeling as you're hitting them twisties. Or if you like to drive as well, just that road that is just that perfect balance of pavement slash just nice and smooth, you know what I'm saying? Or it can also be that unpaved road that you're like, oh, and it's kind of bumpy, you're like, oh my god, and it throws some really obstacles at you, where you sometimes you got to dodge them, because life is not perfect, and or sometimes you find yourself going through some of these cliffs, and where it may have some guardrail, curve rails, or sometimes like, hey, if you mess up, I mean, you go off the cliff, I mean, you go into a peril or whatever the case may be. But it was just kind of surreal being able to go on this road and kind of work at the same time. Disclaimer, and I know my wife is, for sure she's listening to the show, and as I trying to build as an entrepreneur and everything, and we're trying to build this business. I mean, I was on the passenger seat most of the time, so shout out to her for being basically the on the driver's seat, doing her piece, so that way I can not only study for some additional licenses that I'm trying to get at the same time, and also conducting client business, making phone calls, making presentations, helping clients with protecting their assets and their families and all that stuff. But it was just really cool to shout out to the pilot. That's right. And but it was just really neat to be able to do that, and along the way also reconnect with friends and family that we don't see everyone, only a couple times a year. So obviously, Ken Crenshaw, so shout out to Kenny up in Dothan, Alabama, and the folks at Fort Rucker at the fire station over there. Ken just got his promotion to lieutenant, so huge congratulations to my brother from another mother. But it was just really cool that this dude, who I've known since I was 16 years old, where we met in high school. We went through the Marine Corps together. We went on the buddy program. We went to MCT, Marine Combat Training, together. He went, and we ended up actually in camp at Camp Geiger. No, Camp Johnson, camp right there in Camp Lejeune, where the schoolhouses are. Even though we were both different MOSs. I mean, but this dude and I we're brothers from another mother. I mean, I call him my little brother because, I mean, we've literally known each other since we were kids. It was just really cool, you know, spending time with him. And we see each other a couple times a year. And, you know, seeing his folks, his mom, who's like another amazing, very protective mom. And we were kind of exchanging stories when we were there. And his birthday's coming up this weekend, by the way, so the wife and him share the same birthday, so hey, happy early birthday once again to both him and the trophy. It's this Saturday, but you know, just really cool being able to spend time and share with them, break some bread, go out to eat, and still help, you know, again, do my line of work now on the road. So, you know, it was really cool, and obviously take off on the road. Just like on the road again, just can't wait to get back on the road again. I think Willie Nelson's the one who wrote that one, but it was sang by, yeah, I think he's the one who wrote that song. But you know, going out on the road and getting to do all these things, and obviously when you're on the road too, in between breaks, because I mean I'm not just completely absorbed in studying and whatever else. You know, we get to, the wife and I talk about just many different things, and I get to share with her different things about, you know, the things that I know about the U.S., things like that. I mean, even though my wife is from Japan, she is an American citizen, and she's been here for a couple of years. And I came here as when I was 12 and a half. You know, just really cool being able to share things about our road trip and just talk about anything and everything. You know, I think it's, you know, you really get to know that other person or any individual if you spend a couple of days out on the road and you get to talk about many different things. And obviously we stopped at freaking Buc-ee's. Now, let me tell you something, folks. I get super excited about freaking Buc-ee's. And I've never, and a disclaimer, I got to learn about Buc-ee's not only through my wife, but through a friend of hers who is in Japan, who last year, right after I had my knee surgery, oh my God, if you've never been to Buc-ee's, you have to go. I mean, they're strategically placed. God bless the person who came up with this freaking place. But how I learned about it is, so last year, obviously, I had a knee replacement towards the end of last year, which, man, I mean, shout out to the friggin' doctors here, Dr. Daniel Chan at Memorial Hospital, man. That dude is a freaking godsend. But, you know, so I just had surgery, and like a week or two later, I was on convalescent leave and getting healed up. We had to drive to Georgia to basically get to Primerica home office for training. And but prior to that, my wife's friend who is in Japan, she says, "Hey, you guys, can you guys bring me some stuff from Buc-ee's?" And I'm, you know, we both were like, you know, what the heck is Buc-ee's? And we looked online. I'm like, okay, Buc-ee's, whatever. But then we stopped at Buc-ee's along the way, and man, it is a gas station on freaking steroids, people. So I wish that you know, I was getting paid by promoting Buc-ee's, but this place is amazing. I mean, it is everybody and anybody that's on the road. I mean, everybody just stops there, and I mean, the lines to pay for. I mean, this place is jam packed, and it's got the most amazing caramelized pecans. You could buy an assortment pack of pecans, almonds, and cashews. Holy cow! I mean, and dude, it's got everything. You could buy pajamas, dog attire. You can buy. Oh, it is a road stop, but it's an amazing road stop. And obviously, we don't. You know, the wife and I being vegetarians, I don't. You know, I wish they sold something a little bit more vegetarian friendly. But let me tell you, if you like barbecue, which obviously my faithful listener over here does, you know, I mean, hey, I still appreciate barbecue, and I smell and the smell. I mean, they got tons of shit that's you know, barbecue friendly. So if you like that kind of stuff, along with caramelized assorted nuts and stuff, that among and buying just all kinds of, you got to stop at a Buc-ee's. It's the bottom line. I mean, so obviously on our way up there, we hit up. I think we hit two of them up. Did we hit two? Yeah, and you know, we bought some more stuff for our friends in Japan, who obviously, and then we also have some friends here in Florida who like their treats. So, but yeah, you gotta hit up Buc-ee's. I mean, I highly recommend that you go and try one of them. So we stopped at Buc-ee's and it's just a beautiful scenery. When we left Dothan, Alabama, yeah, I know, right? I'm endorsing them for free. Shit, I mean, hey, Buc-ee's, hook me up. I mean, I'm here promoting the crap out of you. So, you know, as we left Dothan, Alabama, the GPS kind of took us, you know, through some more smaller roads, but it was just some beautiful scenery. And when you can appreciate it with somebody as well that, you know, kind of grew up in the city. I grew up more in the country, in Colombia, and so I prefer the country. But it's still amazing driving around and seeing all that kind of stuff. And we got to spend time with my mom, and you know, just an amazing, just seeing some really cool things, and obviously our daughter along the way. It was just kind of surreal. And obviously on the way back, and you know, we're always in this hurry, and we think like, man, you know, shit, you know, life just, we got to get back. But we thought about it. It's like, wait a minute, don't I work from home? Don't I have this other freedom to do many different, you know, do many different things? And or I'm working from home, so we're like, you know what, yeah, let's do say. And it actually kind of played out because obviously we're trying to do many different things along the way, and basically, as I've gotten older, I've realized, and obviously, having lost my dad and my grandfather and even fellow service members along the way, you know, we realized that you know, life is precious, and why not spend it with our loved ones a little bit more, so we don't have any regrets of saying, man, woulda, shoulda, coulda, I wish that, ... You know, we tend to kind of itemize ourselves as we, you know, we start losing our loved ones and we get older. So it was just really, you know, now that my mom is in a better place, living in Texas after I moved her out of California for many other reasons. And so I get to spend time with mom and reconnect with her, and not reconnect, but just kind of spend a lot more time with her and talk with her. So it's just really neat because, I mean, if you're working from home, if you're really going to work from home and do things from anywhere, like this organization that I belong to, you know, it's just really cool being able to do that and spend a couple of days with my daughter as well. And by the way, hey, to the rest of the kids, you know, we're coming to a town near you, so you better have the extra room over there waiting for us because we're coming to visit you as well. So we made our way back. But one thing that I will say is that you know, the buttocks are not designed for those long hauls like we used to, because obviously, you know, us service members and even those of us who work hard, play hard in our lives, you know, after being sitting down in a car, even though you could get out and during your bathroom breaks and whatever have you, and you stretch out, man, after a while, you just kind of like, oh man, I gotta stop. You know, what time? You know, how much longer do we got? Because you know, the sciatica can't take it, and oh man. And let me tell you, I've driven across country several times throughout my life. I mean, I've done that from coast to coast drive a couple of times, but this time I was like, man, it was just a little bit, even though we were stopping every day and kind of hanging out and whatever have you, but shit, it was, you know, once we pulled up here back to the house here in Florida, we're like, wow, that was That was kind of the yeah, and you're right. I mean, I've done some convoys and things like that in Iraq, and with in jam crammed in a Hummer, where at least I got to sit in the front seat as a driver and as an A driver on the front seats. But I mean, let alone imagine being crammed into the two back seats that where there's no space whatsoever. I mean, yeah, I mean it could be you could be in a Hummer where there's no AC, especially in the first generations that I got to drive in, the A1s and the A2s, yeah, before we convert them with AC and some of those little creature comforts. I mean, shoot, so, but, so the whole point is that we got to go on the road, reconnect with family, and just kind of think about life in general. But because, I mean, what a great analogy. And again, going back to the song by Tom Cochrane, what a great analogy. I mean, life can be what you choose. And, we can choose, and if we're fortunate enough, most of the roads will be nice and smooth with little to no, challenges or obstacles to overcome. However, I think we can all agree that life would be a little boring if it was just nice and smooth, just kind of straight, don't do shit, tie the steering wheel, with a piece of rope and just aim it and off you go. So I think every once in a while, I mean, we do one little bit of twists and turns, some, unpaved roads, just to keep things challenging, because at the end of the day, although we can choose the type of day that we have, you can also, choose the type of roads that you drive on, but you want a little bit of this and a little bit of twists and turns, a little bit of bumpy, a little bit of off road, a little bit of smooth, just to kind of keep things exciting. But what a great opportunity that so that to be able to say, okay, can we do this thing working from home and whatever, and still find that balance of work-life balance. So it was great. I mean, we do love being back at our own place where, it's kind of like you could do your own thing and kind of move about, because even as much family as they may love you and you love them, can we agree that we at least, everything comes in little spaces? Because at the end of the day, your family may be like, hey, okay, you've been here a couple of days, but when can you, get back on your, to your own place? So, that's my own opinion. So, anyways, everybody, so life is a highway. So I would encourage you, and even share your stories of what trips have you gone with, by yourself or with your, with some of your family members where, you have some really cool stories. I mean, was it one of those trips where you reconnected, and it's been one of those amazing things. Like this past year, I've gone on two. This is one road trip, and then at the beginning of the year with my mom moving her out of California, which was, I think, was by far one of the most life-changing road trips for me, where her and I got to reconnect. So what road trips have you been on? Let's keep the conversation going. But what road trips have you been on where it's been life-changing, it's been exciting, or was it one of those like National Lampoon's vacations where you were, like the Griswolds? If for those of you who are young enough to still remember those movies, was it one of those where you're like everything just went sideways and you couldn't wait to get back home? Okay, well, that's good. Look, Angel's out over there. She's done a couple of road trips already, and I've done I've done my share of trips in my lifetime. And Ken and I, we got an awesome. You know what? Maybe I'll bring Ken on next time, and we'll talk about that one trip where we had to drive from. We were at our schoolhouse, and we had to drive down to Florida to help a buddy of ours move his now wife, and then it was just a complete shit show. So maybe we'll talk about that one of those days, and we'll talk about that road trip. Which, by the way, we do have pictures also, as well. So, but let's keep the conversation going, everybody, and let's share some of these stories. And again, if you want to be in the show, you want to tell your story and just come and BS with us for a little bit, by all means, hit us up on right here on our show. Austin Wagner, he was on our show. I had thrown this out there. He replied back. So again, let us be your platform and your story. So, but before I go, if you've been ruminating, and kind of being depressed, or you're kind of going into the dark hole where you think about hurting yourself and not just being here, let me tell you, I've got experience on that, and I may not be a therapist, but at least I can help you, talk you off that ledge and get you the help that you need. So reach out to our show, and if you haven't heard from your friend or you haven't checked in on a buddy, hey, your homework for this weekend is do a buddy check, and let's make sure that everybody's doing okay. Because at the end of the day, push-up challenges, which by the way, today was my last day of the 22 a day push-up challenge. Not only did I complete the 2,200 push-ups for the month of October, I'm still going to finish out the rest of the month doing 100 push-ups. So, but it was really good. Thank you so much for those of you who donated to the cause. The link is somewhere one of the posts. I'll go ahead and reshare it. But I see right here that there's over 5,000 followers on the page. If everybody could just contribute $1, that's $1 per follower on the page. That's $5,000 that we can donate to this amazing organization, and it'll go back to helping out service members prevent veteran suicide. I'm about to do another one here with through the Disabled American Veterans. Again, all the proceeds, they don't come to me. The link, it goes to Disabled American Veterans. They're an amazing organization which I happen to be a lifetime member of, among other organizations that I support. But all these organizations help us as veterans, and they lobby and advocate for us for many great things. So please go ahead and help those out. And but yeah, I think this is a good place to index the show. So with that being said, everybody, Aisamas, Daisuki, we'll see you next week. All right, get some. See you later, everybody. Yes.